Hello, my name is Tim Ryan. Welcome to the Tim and Jenn Show. I am here with my amazing host, my best friend, my business partner, and my wife, Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Gimenez Ryan, and thank you guys for tuning in today. Anyone who's listening to us via Spotify, iTunes, or watching
the
us,
other podcast
or
platforms,
watching us right now.
where can they watch us?
The Lux Media, Lux
TV
app.
Go to your app store and download LUXE TV, and you can watch the show live.
That's the easiest way to go, but there is other options that you can watch us on as well. And I don't have that listing right now, so I'm sorry about that.
What's going on? Today it's Jen and I.
It's just Tim and Jenn Show.
We're going to, I think every 3 or 4 weeks, just have it us, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like we keep saying that we're gonna do this, and then we don't because we get some, incredible guests, and it was just nice to kind of take a break and do us. God knows what's going to come out right now on the show. And if there's going to be fighting or bickering or a lot of love here going on, because we do all that in a matter of 2 minutes. Don't we?
Welcome to our world.
Yeah.
So where are you at in life right now? I mean, what's going on? First off, there's things change, and where do you want to start?
I want to start with, if you really want to know what's going on, and I've talked so much about this, but it's my reality, it's where I am at, and it's something that I'm trying to overcome. What I've been dealing with for 9 months now is chronic, and I mean chronic pain.
You've had it longer than 9 months. So
well, I've had my mom and I
what's the word?
Exaggerated and exasperated
it, but you've had it.
Okay,
but it really got kicked in.
We went to Vegas last week with my mom, and I asked her in the car, I said, Mom, do you remember when I started getting migraines? So I suffer from migraines, and she goes, Jenny, you had a lot of back problems. I remember when you were like younger. And I remember when my dad died, I started having migraines every day, and that's 20 years ago. However, I've been dealing with back pains and headaches and migraines and all that for longer than that. In my teens, my mom said, and I got with COVID. One of my symptoms were like our bones felt like they were breaking from the inside out 24 hours a day. It was worse than an opiate detox. And we both had them.
Absolutely.
And then afterwards, we got put on high dose of prednisone for a month. And then after that, I had no pain during that month, but a lot of agitation because of prednisone. But then afterwards, that chronic pain has been back. So we are in the end of May. It's been almost 8 months, plus that 1 week. That 1 month prior to that for 2 months with COVID. So 10 months I've been dealing with chronic, and I mean chronic pain. So anyone out there, and I know there's a lot of people out there that deal with chronic pain, my heart goes out to you. I feel what you're going through now. And I would have moments of it, right? But then it'd go away. I'd go to Dada, my masseuse therapist lady here, and she would make it better. And I go to Dada now, and I go to, I get vitamin infusions done. I go to chiropractors. I've done every yoga pose there is. Tim, I'm on the floor in the bedroom every night.
Crack my back, but you're there to stretching and bending. But
there are times, and you've seen this, Tim, where I can't even walk.
No,
and it's almost like I'm crawling.
Why does it happen every time? We got to be getting on a plane. And that's when it really hits. Traveling kicks your ass.
Because I'm on the floor and I'm packing and unpacking us. And I know that's where it kind of starts going. I wear a back brace. I have every heating thing you put on your back. And I have the little machines. I have everything there is to have to deal with this stuff, right? And it's not working anymore. To the point that when we were in Florida a month ago, I, in a matter of 5 days, was going to go to the hospital 3 times. And the only reason I didn't go is because there's 2 reasons, 3. I didn't want to go because of COVID. I didn't want to be there by myself. And third, what we had worked out was, what are they going to give me when I go to the emergency room, when I'm in this much pain? Morphine,
Demerol, Dilaudid,
opiates, opioids. And I get it. Pain medication works for those who are in pain. But they would have to give me a prescription after that, right? And I'm not against taking pain medication if you're in that chronic pain, right? However, I kind of was doing the math with Tim, and I said, I don't want to get hooked on opiates, like, because then I become dependent on it, right?
Well, I don't, right.
Well, that's my fear.
Even saying hook, but you become dependent on it and they give you a third. You literally are a classic case. I'm no doctor, but for pain management, Vicodin.
Yeah.
I had a buddy, Dave, that had migraines and he always carried a big bottle of Vicodin around with him, but he never abused them. But even if you didn't abuse them and you took them, the amount of pain you have might touch it for a little bit, but it's not going to work.
And I say this, and I'm having this conversation not because I'm against medication, and I'm also not against taking it or not taking it. I'm not here to preach that. What I'm here to tell you is that if anyone has a lot of tools, it's me. I have a tower of people, a team of people, including my husband, who's with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Who sometimes she doesn't want with their 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Okay, the last 2 hours he's been a little difficult. I'm not gonna lie.
Hold on, hold on. I'm trying to get my whistler working. Why does it not work? It's been.
All right. Anyways, so what I'm saying to you is that I have a group of people, a team of people.
I have the
foundation. I have a strong foundation. I have the ability of getting, having to be accountable and to have the resources to be able to take care of my back.
But now, you are making a choice.
But I am
not
making
to get opiates.
And my husband and I are having these serious conversations about what do I do? And at one point, my husband looked at me and said, babe, if you need to smoke weed, go ahead and smoke weed.
Medical marijuana, do it.
If you need to take that CBD or take go ahead and do it. Now, I've been talking about, I've been on CBD now. And that helps for the time being. And for a stay. But what do you think? Like, I mean, seriously, I would love to hear your feedback, but do you people with chronic pain, real chronic pain, should they get medication? Your choice, medication or taking medical or CBD with THC
and chiropractor and kinesiologist and acupuncturist, physical therapy, and doing what you need to do, because I think there's people. You know, we're both in space in recovery, and we speak to high schools and middle schools and colleges and corporations, but I'm not talking about 15 or 16-year-old kids in high school experimenting with weed or dabs.
Or someone who wants to have a quick fix, or somebody that wants to self-medicate because it makes them escape their reality.
Let's focus more on people that are in recovery, or people that don't want to do opiates, that are in pain. My buddy Robert, a couple months ago, had major surgery, 9 years sober, got put on opiates, told the doctor, and the doctor ended up cutting him off. He was in so much pain, he turned to the streets and bought a bag of dope and died. That's just a reality of this. And Jennifer's wise enough to know, that's not where I want to go.
Absolutely. And that's why I think it's important to have these authentic conversations about things that we kind of touch but really don't talk on, and because this is something that is so clear and apparent in our reality, in our lives right now, these are ways of doing things. And if you really look at the whole picture, and that's a sign of a healthy person, someone looking at the whole big picture here, going, do I go this route, do I go that route? I've done every yoga pose there is to do. I've had every masseuse in the world touch me. Seriously, I have had doctors, besides doing the MRI.
What you're doing CBD right now?
Yeah, I'm doing CBD, but what are your thoughts? What are people's real thoughts? What is your thought? I mean, I know that you've said to me, babe, if I had right? Because that's a whole nother story too. If I had cancer and I was going through chemo and radiation, doing the whole thing, I'm going to tell you right now, I will be smoking or taking or whatever.
I don't care. Say a lot of it was to incarcerate the minorities and charge the minorities. And if you look at now, marijuana is legal in 33 states. It will be legal nationwide. The federal government will eventually decriminalize it, and it has a ton of medical value. Look at the little kid that has seizures, and they put some drops of CBD or hemp oil in him, and he doesn't have seizures anymore. Don't tell me this doesn't work. So that's one thing, but you also have a thing, Jen, that is against the hemp. We actually had a friend, Jen, I won't mention names or anything right now, but this individual has been in the treatment for years and was opening a center and opened it. And what do they do there? They do THC and cannabis. Mm-hmm. And when we met with this gentleman, I said, "You're doing what?" And he said, "Tim, hear me out." He said, "I've been in the treatment industry for years. I can't tell you the 18 to 35-year opiate addicts that just come through, turn and burn, here, there, relapse, or die, here, there, die, get on MAT, die." He said, "What if these people came to a program after detox, got fully detoxed, and still, CBT and dialectical behavioral therapy and the mental health and the trauma therapy and
things." After I thought about, maybe we should talk about pain meds. What about the 90%
that don't make it?
That don't make it of addicts and alcoholics.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by 90%?
There is 90% of people that walk into a 12-step based program
or a treatment
center, or some kind of, going to church or meditation therapy or something. Out of the 90% of us do not make it. 90. That's a big number. Now, wait. Again, Tim and I are abstinence-based. We are completely abstinence-based, but we are talking about things that we need to be talking about, and we're playing devil's advocate on two sides on this. But we're also talking about the reality. What about the fucking 90% of people that do not make it? What about giving them a shot?
So I agree with you. I don't want to get off topic, but our treatment modality is broken. And as you say, you're a huge addict and need to go to treatment. No. And you're absolutely right. I got sober where? In a prison cell.
That's what we got in a fight about earlier before we started the show.
We didn't get in a fight. We got in a
disagreement. Okay, so he was like, so let's talk about how the treatment industry, why doesn't treatment work? And I was like, treatment? What are you talking about? Things that don't work? 90 out of 100, out of 10 people.
Out of 100 people, 10 get sober.
Yeah, out of 10 people, 1 gets sober. So I remember being in treatment the last time I was in there over 15 plus years ago. And they were like, out of the 30 of you here, 3 will make it. I was like, who's the other 2? I'm not even joking you when I say this.
I remember that exact thing.
Like, who else is going to be here? Who else is making it? Because I'm going to make it, and I'm going to stay very vigilant, and I'm going to stay very strong, and I'm going to stay there every single fucking day. And
but did you make it?
Yeah, and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it today, and I'm gonna make it tomorrow. That was the last time that I heard.
15 and a half years later.
Yeah, that I heard that. It was
okay,
when
so
they said that.
So
bringing it back to, what about the 90%? What about those people? Because like a lot of people are like, oh my God, how can all these marijuana places be open? I'm not here saying it's good or bad. I'm saying that
we need to look at a different avenue.
I'm saying it is good. And you said to me in Florida, we need to grow with the times.
You need to always be adaptable, changing, whether it was the technology industry, modeling, acting, things constantly change.
Well, we evolve, we change, everything looks evolves. Change, things change, time, eras, they change.
So I've been doing this 7 years, working in treatment and consulting and all this stuff. And all I see every day is more death, more death, more death. I just had a lady message me, 2 years sober, wants to get into this industry. I said, don't do it. Unless you want to deal with death and heartache, this is not the industry you want to work in. I want to see people live. You can't help someone if they're dead.
No, and you can't help those that don't want the help. That was like
Absolutely.
another thing that, this morning I woke up and there's like, you're like, my phone is blowing up. I looked, it was like my first 3 messages before I could even wake up. It was like 4 a.m. East Coast time. We're in LA. So I was like, it was like, can you talk to this person? Can you talk to that person? Can you, and I will. And I know that God knows our heart and it's pure. But it's like, why is it our job every day to deal with such darkness?
Well, because I put myself in this situation and people reach out to me, but I won't be a broken record either. This father called me today. His daughter reached out. We talked 3 months ago. I said, here's 3 places. She has no insurance. Here's where she can get into. That's it.
One of the great things though about that is that I'll say is that Google's your friend. And I say that with all due respect. Google is your friend. There's a place called rehab.com that you can fill out a questionnaire. It takes 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And within 3 minutes, they will send you 3 to 5 places with insurance, no insurance, dual diagnose, all this stuff. That really helps.
Rehab.com.
Tim and I are one person each, and we can only respond to so many people. And sometimes, that quick answer you need, here's a solution to. And I think that it's important to have this knowledge and be able to apply it and to share it with other people. And you can pass this on even if you need to help, if you want to pass it on to other families and stuff. But I think Google is your friend. I think that you researching these places where you might put yourself or your family member in is really critical.
Do your due diligence.
That people don't know what they don't know.
Thank you.
And that's like, talk to the therapist there, talk to this, CEO.
Talk to other people though. Forget the therapist and that, because they're all going to upsell you on coming to their program. Put it out there on your Facebook or social media. Hey, who's had a loved one in treatment? What centers? Ask questions, because I look at Illinois where I lived, and there's some I wouldn't touch. And I put my son in one of those 5 times, but I didn't know what I didn't know. So in hindsight, I didn't know there was 90 and 120-day programs I could have put them in. I just did what I knew, and there,
so crazy that, it's so wild to hear you say that, because I think about like when my mom and when I was like, I had this friend of mine, he was my trainer, and his name is Micah. And he was reaching out to places as he was in like the front of my house and I was like locked up in my bedroom. He would come over to make sure I was still breathing. And he, I guess, reached out to like Dr. Drew had a website or something. And this is way before, this is like 2004 or 2003. And in 2004, he would like ask people about places. Like I didn't know about treatments.
How did you find your treatment center?
My mom and Brandy, one of my mom's doctors from City of Hope referred her to Los Encinas, and then Brandy called Los Encinas. She took my Social Security. Brandy Glanville, for those who don't know, my best friend, called Los Encinas and said she was me, and this was my Social Security and my SAG insurance, and if they would take me. So when they came to me, they gave me that as a place.
Now that we're talking about that, Jennifer, you went to treatment, a great program on your health insurance. You ended up staying how long?
9.5 months.
How much did it cost you?
Out of pocket?
Yeah, that you paid because someone else helped too. Yes. But how much did you pay?
$186,000.
$186,000.
That was out of pocket. But again, I want to let you guys know I didn't have that $186,000 at the time.
But my mom signed your life away.
Yeah, and I did pay a good chunk of my life savings or whatever, and then I made I remember. A couple of people said, listen, they can't take what you don't have. I didn't know that, I could have like passed it on, not paid that bill. I guess that's something you could do now, or what people do. I don't even know
about that.
But I made a deal, and I paid every penny I could every single month. And then Sober House came out, and I said where I got sober. And so it was in all the articles and stuff. And all of a sudden you go on, their website, and there I am, front page, like I'm their ambassador without them even telling me. So I was like, all right.
Wipe that bill away.
They wiped the bill, the last $30,000.
So you happen to be, but I can remember, Jen, when I was in Parkside Lodge in Mundelein, Illinois in 1990, I was on my dad's insurance. 3 weeks to the day, the team came in and pulled me in an office and said, "You're doing great. We really feel you need to stay another week, but you're no longer covered on your dad's insurance, but sign right here. It's only $21,000." And I signed it. And I ended up having to pay another 21 grand that was for a week of treatment.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If I did the math really, I think that my treatment would probably come out to $700,000. And to go back, my insurance was golden, that paid. And then I had an angel take over my payments the first time I was in treatment. And I didn't know that he did that until the CEO and all the doctors were there, and they brought me in the room, and I was going to get kicked out of treatment. And I remember talking to him the day before, because I had a posse. I was sober prior to that. So I had a whole community. And he was one of the first people I told I relapsed when I relapsed back in the day, and he would still call me all the time. And then all of a sudden, he says to me, I'm talking to him the day before I'm going to get kicked out of treatment because my insurance ran out. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I really want to get, he's like, do you want to stay sober? I said, yes, Jim, I really want to stay sober. And I don't know how, I just hope that God helps me here. Like, it's the first time I actually want to like help myself. And the next day I found out he was paying the rest of my stay as long as that took, whether it be 2 months or a year. And I called him the next day and I said, that day of, when I found out, and I said, what did you just do? And he said, well, I'm paying for you to get better. And I said, why? I didn't ask you to. And he said to me, I just bit my tongue. He said to me, because when I was a newcomer, you came up to me every single day and you welcomed me. And for the first year and a half, you were so loving to me. I didn't know what he did. You
didn't know who he was.
I didn't know who he was. I didn't know his last name.
And we won't mention it, but he was a...
Wait, I can mention it. It's my story.
But you're going to break his anonymity by mentioning his name. So
why he broke his anonymity by mentioning his name. All right,
I'll wait for the book. Name. Go ahead.
Wait. No, wait. We'll just do this. He's a owner of a football team, and I didn't know he owned the football team.
So
and
I had tell him the story. Okay, tell him the story.
Okay, so this will be in my book. Okay, you guys, I'm just going to give you a little glimpse of it. So this person, every morning at the log cabin in LA, there's this meeting there at 7:30, and it's like, the who's who meeting. And, you got the old timers in the back row, and everyone comes in, and it was happening, right? We don't have these meetings anymore right now, but I mean, not in person. So I'm there. And I would go around, all my movies were out, and I'd always say hi. And so we're going to breakfast every day. We'd go to breakfast after our meeting, and it'd be a group of us, right? And it just get bigger and bigger. And so this day I'm going to a callback for Friends at NBC. And, him, my friend and I were talking, Jim, and he's like, oh, so what are you doing today? And I was like, oh my God, yeah. So I'm going to go to call back with your Friends. It's between me and this girl. It's reoccurring. It's so great. Right. And he's like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, da, da, da. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, always really nice. And I'm like, oh yeah, just all about me, so self-absorbed. And
have you worked on that?
Fuck you.
Have you worked on that?
Shut the fuck up.
Just ask.
It doesn't sound funny when you say that, by the way. And so we're talking, and I decided that day to actually ask him how he's doing. And I go, what are you doing today? He's like, well, I'm going to NBC too. And I was like, what? And I'm like, why would you go to NBC? I mean, yeah, NBC. And he's like, well, I'm meeting with, and he says the CEO basically. And I'm like, or the president. I'm like, what? Why are you meeting with him? And he's like, oh, I want to bring a team here. And I was like, oh, how cute. You want to bring a high school team on there, for a special Friday thing? And he's like, no. And I was like, a college team. And I was like, and he's like, no. I'm like, a European team? What do you want to do? Do a little special, like a commercial thing? I didn't get it, right? And he's like, no, I want to bring this team over. And it's an AFC, or yeah,
it's a professional football team.
Yeah. And
kind of puts you in your place.
Yeah, he's like, I know, I want to bring the blah blah blah. And I'm like, what? And at that time, I just started playing fantasy football. It was my one and only time. And I had 3 of his players on there. And I'm like, wait a minute, you have blah, blah, blah. And I was so fascinated. And I didn't know,
but
this is 6 months after me,
but this
knowing
is him. The point though, Jen. And that's a cool thing about a recovery program is this man helped you because you were kind to him. And we go to these meetings and yeah, you see some famous people and stuff. I don't give a shit who you are. I'll treat you the same, whether you're homeless or you're the president. And that's what you do. And you go out of your way, and that kindness,
He's my angel.
turns out that this man became your angel.
Cut to a few years later, I'm in rehab. I'm about to get kicked out. And he went and said he was going to pay for the rest of everything.
Yeah.
And so then I relapsed, and I called him and I said, I'm so sorry I relapsed. I just couldn't take it. And then when I went back to treatment, I called him and I said, I just want to let you know, I hope that one day I can pay you back for what you did for me. And I don't need you to pay for anything here. I need to do this on my own. And I just want to let you know I love you. And, you know, that man was always a gentleman to me.
Absolutely.
And I'm so grateful. I'm forever grateful. He's an angel in my life. And I have a few of them, but
Okay. You
Yeah.
okay? But
Yeah,
that's good. But one thing I want to hit on here that was going through my head, all treatment isn't 100,000, 200, 400, 800,000. Even if you don't have insurance or the money to pay, there are options available. You know,
let me tell you, wait, sorry, babe, I'm going to cut you off. My sobriety started when I left treatment.
thank you.
I got sober in Crenshaw in 96. Like that is
People-
where
what
you
is
get
that?
sober.
People
That's
don't
in
listening
Compton.
don't
It's
know
in the
what that
hood.
is.
It's in the hood. It's in Compton. Like, I mean, I was a total jerk off, and I'd call it like with the whatever meetings and stuff. Like, but these people,
You were
that's
the only girl of your skin color there.
Yeah, I was. I was the only Latin
Yeah.
girl in there. I mean, it was like, you know, me and all my sisters and brothers, and they
From
did
the hood.
not give a fuck about who I was, what I did, who I knew, who I blew, whatever. They didn't care. They cared about my insides. Like
Right.
they healed from the inside out. And you got sober in prison. Like it doesn't matter where you get
Yep.
sober.
And could I have got drugs in prison? Yes. Could I have made hooch with some of the other guys because they
What's
did?
hooch?
Yes. Homemade alcohol. Yes. Was there ecstasy and acid and yes, all that was in there. I chose not to do it. So don't give me that bullshit that, oh, I couldn't get sober here. People, you either want to go get sober or you don't. But the point is, you don't need to go to rehab. There's other, I'm trying to pull this back. There's other methods. And I look at if cannabis can help someone ultimately get to an abstinence-based point, I support it. I've always supported medical marijuana. I have to look at things differently. I'm not a big supporter of MAT, medicated assisted treatment, either Suboxone, sublingual, Subutex, methadone, because it's turned, in my opinion, what I see, it's turned into prescribing a medicine.
Yeah.
There's no treatment. There's no therapy. It's not a protocol that if I go to Jennifer as an addictionologist, that I have to see this therapist and work a recovery program. If I'm not doing that, guess what? They still keep giving me my meds.
In the psych ward, they put me on Suboxone and a bunch of other things. They needed to for me to detox. Now, in the midst of all that, mind you, I just hung myself in the psych ward, right? And at the time, I can barely form sentences. I can't even hold a pen. And I had a therapist come in every single day, Paul Royer, and he'd come and look at me and see me while.
Okay, but
Wait,
that's not normal.
but listen. I was on Subutex, I was on narcotics, I was detoxing off of opiates, and I had therapy already happening. And apparently there's groups, but I don't really remember any of that. But I remember seeing Paul Royer's face. And so I was doing that while I was on that, but I was only on that for 2 weeks, you guys.
Okay,
and
but
then
we're
I
not
got
talking about that. Jen.
but the long extended,
I'm
like
talking
people
about the
taking
people out of treatment that are
Yes.
still on it
6 months later.
But well, it could be 6 months, a year or two. Some people be on it forever, but I don't see a majority of them seeing that therapist weekly, seeing the psychiatrist weekly, then every other week, and working a recovery
Yeah,
program.
I see the
That's
milligrams
why-
going higher.
Exactly. So that's just my views. That's what I've seen. Blah blah blah.
I'm agreeing with you.
So I know, but we have to look at other avenues, and all points lead to here. So that's just something that we've really been researching and looking at. And I gotta be honest, I'd much rather have someone hitting a bong than jamming a needle in their arm, because it's just a matter of time that needle is going to be full of fentanyl and you're dead.
You said something before we started the show. You're like, well, why hasn't treatment worked? And then why? I feel that we've been sugarcoating this shit for a long time. But
Well,
I also think first and
I'm
foremost,
vaping too.
first and foremost, I think that a lot of people don't want to face their reality and their truth. Like, and that's the reason why they can't stay sober. Like, they're like, oh my God, that big secret.
Bingo.
I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. Like, how bad is it really? Like, because I'm not trying to take your pain away from you or your experience, but it's already done.
So
do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but a lot of people, so what you're saying, Jen, wow, deja vu. I just had a dream this was going to happen. Crazy. A lot of people become alcoholics or addicts due to underlying trauma. And the trauma happened 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, but they're still living through it. So
no, they're still living in it.
They're still living in it. It's a choice to ultimately play the victim or not.
I don't even know if it's a choice. I mean, it becomes a choice at some point, right? When we first take on that role. Like,
I'm lost on the point you're making.
So I'm being abused, right? I'm hypothetically
not
speaking.
By me.
Okay, stop, chill. It's not about you. This is
not
about you. In an experience, I'm being abused, right? So I become an abuse survivor. I get physically and verbally and abused. I can live in life going, oh my God, I'm so afraid I'm in abusive, I'm this, but I took that role on because that's what I experienced that first time, right?
Right.
So if I don't work through my issues, I'm going to live like this,
Absolutely.
Right? And I'm abused. I'm this person and I'm a victim and da. I get sober. I find out I don't need to be a victim anymore. I get to talk about it. I get to write about it. I get to deal with it. I've done all these other things with it. And now I walk around and I go, I'm not a victim. So much that it's like confrontational with you and I at times because I'm no longer a victim. A voice that's strong is not going to scare me. And a voice that's wicked is not going to scare me either. That's not you. But what I'm saying is that, like, I no longer have to be that girl.
Because you have the tools and you work through it.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So there's a difference.
But one of the things you had said, and I don't remember, the point is too, Jen, when Johnny or Susie or whoever, if they choose to go to treatment, they're wanting to get the help, but if they go back to that screwed up dysfunctional family, their chances of success are zero. I actually saw Richard Jones had wrote something today. In the state of North Carolina or South Carolina, insurance is going to start paying for family coaches.
That's amazing.
So because if I go to treatment and I go and I come back and my wife is a drunk in this, if she's not getting any help, I'm going to go right back to using.
Okay,
Or the
so
mom or
I'm
dad.
going to tell you this. I'm going to tell these people, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off yet again. If you're a family member or a loved one of, and your loved one goes to treatment, guess what? Call that treatment center and find out about their family group. Another thing, if you can't do that, and they're not doing that, there's a thing called Al-Anon. If you can't do that or don't want to do that because you're so uniquely different, there's a thing called therapy.
Or Families Anonymous or Nar-Anon.
Yes,
yeah.
Or get on your knees and praying. There's church, there's something. There is some place that you can find an outlet that will allow you to connect to other people who are loved ones of an addict or alcoholic. And I'm saying this to you.
Why do
not
they
out of
need
judgment,
to? Because they're what?
Because
They're
you
usually
are
enablers?
Yes, and they're just as sick as the addict, if not worse.
you.
Because you want to know something? When an addict's intoxicated, right, in one form or way or another, or someone with mental health issues is in their episodes, I'll call it, they're not present. Guess who's present? You and me, right? So all of a sudden, who's more crazy, me or the person who's actively out there?
Especially if you're co-signing their drinking.
Yeah, I'm the crazier one. And I'm the crazier one because I'm present for this experience. And so all of a sudden I'm coping with this or trying to, and I'm trying to do this alone. Guess what? I'm gonna turn crazy.
I mean, it's like if I'm the husband and my wife, Jennifer, hypothetically is a drinker and she doesn't go to work. And me as her husband, I know she's hungover, but I'm calling her boss and saying, hey, Sloan, this is Tim Ryan, my wife, Jennifer. She's really sick. She can't make it into the office today. Oh, thanks for calling, Tim. We hope she's well. I'm an enabler because I'm co-signing my wife's bullshit that she's actually hungover, and that's the reason she can't go into work, because she's up doing blow and drinking all night. But I'm covering for her. I'm an enabler.
And if you're covering, or I'll use me, if I'm covering for someone, right, that's out there using, and I'm making excuses for them, I'm really in survival mode because I want them to be better, but I can't let anyone know that. Now, if I'm doing that, I'm not doing that because that's my first experience. I'm doing it. And if I do the real work, I'm doing that because somewhere down the line when I was a child, I saw that.
I want to ask you a question.
That was deep, you guys. I really want you to get that.
So I want to ask you a question about something. Last week or whenever, we were taking an Uber to LAX, and the Uber driver, you were Chatterbox. He knows what we do, and we help people. And he tells us about his daughter. How old was his daughter?
She was still in
like 12 or 13.
13, yeah.
And online school and all this, but she has been cutting and self-mutilating herself and acting up. And the dad saying, well, my wife was bipolar, but she got it prayed away, and she's not bipolar anymore. And we're taking my daughter to see the church pastor, and they're praying over, and they're going to pray this away. And I'm thinking in my head saying, look, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I'm more spiritual than a Bible thumper. I don't go to church. I don't throw scripture at people. If you do, good for you. It's just not my cup of tea. But I wanted to explain to this guy.
Well, because we said we had resources we could give him for his child and for his family to do all this. And he was like, oh, no. We're doing this through
God. We're going to we're going to pray her bipolar and her cutting away. And I'm just thinking, I will never tell anyone what they should or shouldn't believe in. But what about like Hazleton Treatment Center? That was started for alcoholic priests. That's why they started, to sober up the priests. And if the church couldn't keep their own priests sober or prayed away, how do you think they're going to pray away bipolar or self-harm?
I did say this to him, though. And I said, sir, with all due respect, my she's a hardcore Christian, goes to church, does the whole thing. I said, my mom once told me that God makes medicine and God made doctors for a reason. Yeah. And I said, if you ever need help, you can come our way. Otherwise, I wish you nothing but the best. But the truth is, sometimes you can't pray it away. So, and I mean like this, God answers prayers, but sometimes God wants us to do the action, and the action is doing the work. Whether it be working out or eating correctly, or, I wish I could pray my weight away.
Or getting the proper help for your daughter. I said, look, maybe you should, Jen actually said it, maybe you should find a good adolescent therapist for your daughter to work with. She's probably going through some things with being homeschooled in this. But you also have a father that's a workaholic. He's driving Uber all day long. He even said that. And two parents that are uneducated, not any fault of their own, about the disease of mental health and addiction. And they don't know what to do, or they're afraid to, because they're such Christians that they think they can pray it away. Hey, more power to them. But
we said after we left, we both said, how many people out there are really doing that? Like, I'm going to pray this away, or we're not going to talk about it. It's going to go away. Maybe it's something you need to ask yourself, whoever's listening. Like, how many things have you just kind of denied in your life, even though you're in recovery, or you're bettering yourself, or you're just listening to this show for the first time? And that's why we're having these uncomfortable conversations, or conversations that really no one's ever talking about, like the 90%, or the chronic pain versus THC versus opiates, or the family that thinks they can pray something away. I wish my whole family, they would throw me into church. I would do exorcisms. They would do exorcisms on me. Like my family, I grew up very
I'm going to have a few done on you.
Like I had, church, it was all this stuff. And it wasn't that God couldn't save me by going to church alone. That didn't help me. That could be someone else's story. And kudos to you. But that wasn't enough for me. And I remember, and I think I've mentioned this before on the show, I'm not sure, is that I remember my pastors would come to visit me, and I would say, I can't go back to church. Everyone's going to know. And he said to me, Jen, I'm going to let you know something. Church is a lot of sick people trying to get better. So you are no different than them. And I thought, damn, It's not all high and mighty.
Well, no, but
you know?
what it gets back to is uneducation, judgmental people, and ignorance, and lazy people that don't want to search and do the research or whatever, and expect me or you to do it for them.
Or people like, it's the same thing. Like, I'm just not going to eat them and lose weight. Okay, you'll lose weight, but you're going to gain it again, gain it back. I mean, it just happens that way. Unless you work out or you eat healthy, you make healthy choices, and you do something different, nothing's going to change. Nothing changes unless something changes, and you got to do the work to change.
And back to something you had mentioned earlier, you have to do the work. Get out of your own way. Quit taking advice from the last person you drank or used with. That's yourself. You keep putting insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Yeah.
But we're in trying times here because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and so many. We're watching a show the other night on Europe and how all these kids are struggling with mental health. Guess what, people? We're just on the tip of the iceberg. It's going to get a hell of a lot worse.
I was getting my hair blown out today by my girl Maria out in LA. And we were talking. I mean, this girl is a goddess. She is a 20-something-year-old hottie patati, beautiful Latin, stunning girl. And she's like, I'm just so afraid to go out. I'm like, girl, go own who you are. Enjoy yourself. Work out outside if you need to or whatever. We're still in lockdown in California in the sense of we have to wear masks. I know that CDC, not lockdown, but the CDC said you can, vaccinated people.
That's so goofy.
We'll explain it to you guys afterwards. But anyways, I was talking to her, right? Beautiful girl. And she's freaking out about going outside. And she's like, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. And, and I'm thinking, damn, if I was 20 something.
So you get
now,
someone like that though, Jen, that's 20 and
and
they're
healthy,
20. But what does she do? Her world is this: Instagram, social media, TikTok.
But she's trying to figure out how to function in the real world again, like all of us are, right? And I have my husband, and I'm so blessed. Let me tell you, for 40 years, I had relationships, but I didn't have a partner. And now I have a partner and I get to do this, but I understand being alone and having to try to do this.
Tough.
It is really fucking tough. And
even to call a therapist and say, I need to talk. We're afraid to. They can't jump through the phone.
Yeah.
Listen to them. Take a 10-minute call.
So there is anxiety, which is mental health, over starting to be able to function in the real world. And I know people are walking around going, do I wear a mask here or not here? So this is what I figured out today. If people haven't gotten this one clear yet, because I needed to learn and know this today. The mask mandates go by state and county. So my husband and I, CDC says in Costco and in Trader Joe's and all these other places, we don't have to wear a mask. Now in the state of California, up until June 15th, thus far, we have to wear a mask wherever we go. In the county of Los Angeles that we're in, we have to, in any store we walk into, wear a mask. So our mask mandates are still active till June 15th. So no matter whatever the CDC says, we have to follow our state and our county's law. And then they're talking about some honor system. Let me tell you, that's fucking bullshit. They're not
vaccinated. Well,
who's not going to say that they're not vaccinated?
They were interviewing a restaurateur last night in LA, and he was outside, and they said, well, what are you going to do? Because seating's opening up inside and the no mask and all this. He said, we are going to start out asking people to see their vaccinations. This is my establishment. And I don't want to, no offense, take someone on face value. I've been vaccinated. Show it to me. I carry mine on my phone. You carry yours on your phone. It takes a whole 2 seconds. Here you go. Good. And he said, if I get some pushback, I do, but I want the people to be safe. And it's interesting too, seeing the people, oh, you did that for you, but not for me.
No, that's my mom's card. So I'm showing you that we have our COVID-19. It says right there.
We can get it digital. But the point is, there's people out here now that are afraid, fully vaccinated. I will not wear a mask unless I need to go into a store. I'm not wearing it, walking outside I'm vaccinated.
It felt really good walking yesterday and not having to wear a mask, because I've been wearing a mask while I walk in California. Yes,
but the people are fearful of this too, to take them off, because I mean, seeing that, they also said kids 12 and under have to wear a mask.
So Mackenzie,
You out of your
we were
tree?
just in Chicago, Mackenzie and I.
Who is Mackenzie?
My stepdaughter,
How old is she?
5.5.
They might
I
not
mean,
know that.
Okay, Kenzie, our daughter, and I walked out of the car and there was people, and we didn't have our masks, and she all of a sudden like grabs my scarf and I get my scarf and we both cover up. But like, this is a 5.5-year-old little girl.
Should not live like this.
But we are. 'Cause
I know,
this is
I
where
get
we're
it.
at. And a 5.5-year-old little girl now knows how to cover up and like kind of feel like a little insecure, like I do and anyone else does when you walk out of a place and there's other people around, you know? And so I was like, it's okay, Ken's like, we can put it down.
Well, it's like even at the hotel, up the elevator at the room, she's like, can I take it off now? Yeah. But it's funny because I looked at her and I said, that's the one thing you don't lose is that mask. You know?
Yeah.
Go figure
Well,
that one.
we've sent her quite a few.
You've
of
sent her a
them.
bunch.
Yeah, so like, it's just, I think it was like this whole honor system. Like, I would just wish that all of us were as honest, but like, I mean, I think that so many people are so tired and so confused with all this that they're just like, I'm so over trying to even prove if I have been vaccinated or not.
And then if you're one of those people that started drinking more or doing drugs, or you're struggling with mental health due to this pandemic, son of a bitch, put your hand up and ask for help.
Or
you know?
if you've had to sit at home, I can see this too happening. I always try to play like put myself in people's positions, or like, I never want to get jaded. You know, I always want to be able to be open to grow more and learn. And I think like, gosh, if that was me in the pandemic right now by myself, like, last year, and you have to sit at home, you're going to really feel feelings. Maybe you're not like, maybe the reason why you start drinking more or start having more anxiety is because you're actually thinking about things that you've been like blocking in your life from childhood, and it's now coming up, no wonder you're going to drink more, like, because you've never dealt with it. So if you've become an addict or a person with mental health problems, and it's kind of surfaced up now, therapy, help.
But you got to realize this shit's everywhere. So I was on Instagram earlier and I had some new followers. So I always check to see who's following me. And this guy is like Mr. Keeter or something. And I look and I can see all his pictures in his Instagram. Kilos of flake cocaine, boxes of Suboxone, boxes of Valium. He's selling lean, but all these things he's selling through Instagram. So I reported it and I blocked them, but it's everywhere. People are pushing this stuff in our faces everywhere. And if I didn't have the foundation, I'll tell you that cocaine, it brought me right back to buying 1/4 pounds of it and going, yeah, that's good shale. But I reported the guy and I blocked him, but the person that doesn't have the tools, they might reach out. So you got to be cognizant of what's going on out there. What did you want to say about TV commercials, Jen?
So I've been kind of like listening, like and especially when we're at night, when I try to like say I'm up watching TV, I'm really asleep. But he falls asleep before I do, and then I'll get the yell like, Jeff, are you awake? And I'm like, my instant reaction, I lie.
They can't hear you.
I lie.
They can't hear you.
I lie. I say, oh, babe, it's my new thing. I automatically learn to do. Like when I sleep, I'm like a total different person. I'm like, oh, no, I'm up. I'm really sound asleep. But I can hear the commercials, right, going on. Like, and all of a sudden it's like, you should take this pill and that pill and the
new
side
drug
effects.
On the market.
Yeah, the new drug. And it's like, it's interesting. Every state that we're in or city that we're in Chicago was different. It was a lot of gas stuff and all this stuff.
Right.
And here it's like a lot of like mental health and Viagra stuff. But the side effects, holy crap, the side effects go on for like 22 minutes.
22 minutes. You could have heart failure. You can have this. Your penis can fall off. Blah, blah, blah. But then it's like all these people are afraid to take a vaccine.
Yeah.
Are you out of your tree?
I know.
Come on, man.
And some of them, though, some of the commercials, the freaking side effects are the same exact side effects for like but different drugs.
Exactly.
And then
I don't.
We'll hear them, and then like, you'll say a name, and then I'll say a name. We go back and forth, and it becomes this whole thing. But you guys, like, we'll take those medications, and we don't care about the consequences of the side effects. People are like, oh my God, the side effects of,
Oh yeah,
the
the
vaccination.
vaccine. But
Yeah.
when's the last time you went to the doctor and got a damn physical?
Like you were so anti getting the flu shot. And I was like, yo, like I get it. But like my mom told me, because I started getting really sick a lot, like 5 years ago. So she told me to get a flu shot. I did. I haven't been sick. Like I don't get sick with the flu. And then we got sick last year, obviously. And I was like, this isn't a flu. I know this isn't a flu because I don't get sick because I take the flu vaccination. I don't care what people think. But then you took one this year because I'm like, babe, we can't afford it.
I'm not going to do this anymore. I am never, hopefully in my life, going to go through what we went through. I'll take a flu shot. I'll take a COVID shot. Guess what? If I got to get a booster shot every 6 months, I will. And I'm still a long hauler. My breathing is not back.
It's so scary. You guys.
I have I lay down and I got to catch my breath. I don't know if I can go out and water ski. It's going up 3 flights of stairs.
No,
I'm exhausted.
It's scary. I think he's like, I honestly get really scared.
But you know what? I'll take this for now and work on rebuilding my
we're going to doctors.
Cardiovascular and all that.
But it's interesting because today we found out our best friend has COVID. They're going to officially find out. He did the work. He'll find out tomorrow, but the rapid test that he did. And he's like, and we're like, oh my God, are you, I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And he's like, Jen, I feel fine. I don't think I don't have it the way you did. I mean, you guys had the highest strain, and the worst thing that you could have had possible next happen would be death. Like you were short of death. Like, and I looked at you and I was like, damn, we were really, we were short of death. Like that's
but we also were drinking and using drugs too. I've OD'd 8 times. So never stopped me before.
I was present for this experience. So.
Oh yeah.
There's a difference.
We were totally present and it was tough, but we don't have to live that way, knock on wood, anymore. But I'm also not going to be sheltered. We're out living life now.
Yeah, we are living life. And, there's something else about, like, people are always like, oh, it's not just drugs, alcohol. And it's not, right? It's not just about drugs and alcohol. How are you emotionally? Like, where are you emotionally? How grown up are you emotionally? I've noticed that we've been around a lot of people, especially coming back from Chicago. There's certain people that we have to tolerate because, we just have to for the next 13 years. And the emotional growth on that experience, or seeing people like, emotionally not grown up, it's like a good slap in the face for me to go, God, where can I grow emotionally? And that I have room to grow, and that I need to grow. I think that's really important because we're always evolving, you guys. Life's in moving forward motion, and we're always evolving. And you got to stay up with it because this is just life.
And emotions come and go. But something else you just made me think of. What are you grateful for? When's the last time you sat down and wrote a gratitude list? Tim, for the simple things in life? I got a roof over my head, clothes on the back, food on the table. I've got my recovery. My wife is healthy. Our kids are healthy. We have careers. I don't have a complaint in the world.
Okay, so I get that. And I'm with you on that. But sometimes, and maybe it's just a type of person like me, and I don't know if other people are out there like this, but I can do my gratitude list and I still don't feel grateful. And I don't know if that's part of my depression part or things in my mental health of things, but when it is dark, it is real dark. It is real dark for that moment. So if someone's like, and I know, cause that's what they do. It's like, do a gratitude list. I'm like, okay. And I do it and I still feel the freaking same. And then 20 minutes from now, I might be like, I am grateful for the universe and being, head above water and having my feet on the floor. But I can also go into that whole gratitude, not gratitude,
I hear you. I mean, I think when you wake up every morning and you lay in bed and somebody brings you a rock star, you have time to reflect. And you're very observant and about you say these positive things in the morning.
I say thank you right away.
Yeah, and that has a start to your day, and start your day over. Well, look, I'm pissed off. I'm not just going to say kumbaya, I want my day to start over, but I try to meditate. I can still get about 2 minutes. We had a friend that says he has 5. And what was the thing he did with the hands where I bring the gratitude into my body? Do you know what I'm talking about? From the Thursday night meeting. I don't remember how he said that though, but it was powerful. But anyhow, I feel like we're starting to ramble here.
No, but I think that and it's interesting because you about 2 years ago, you came in and you were like aggressive, had nothing to do with me. And I was like, whoa, can you not start the day like that with me? And you were like, what do you mean? And I was like, I need to hear soft as I get up, like, because if I hear agitation or I feel agitation in the morning, there goes my day. And I know you can start it all over at any time. Granted, I get that. I mean, there's so many things I wrote down, by the way, in our list my list to talk about, but we're out of time. And I really want to thank you guys for allowing us to have this open conversation about some serious topics.
And we want feedback. If you're listening to the show, whether it's on iTunes or Spotify or Roku or Lux TV, email us. You can send an email to tim@dope2hope, DOPETOHOPE.com, or Jenn, JENN, @dope2hope.com. If you need help, go to our website, dope2hope.com, 844-611-HOPE.
I really want to thank, and I mean this, I really want to thank everyone who's ever listened to any of our podcasts or watched us. It means everything to us that we have this platform, and that Lux Media, we want to thank you, Victor, Chelsea, and Candace. Thank you so very much for this opportunity. And I also want to thank our sponsors, but I also want to thank again you for tuning in, because you matter the most to us.
Amen.
And thank you for allowing us to be honest and open and real and raw.
For the Tim and Jenn Show, this is Tim Ryan and Jennifer Gimenez signing off. We will see you next week. Have an amazing evening. We want to talk to you about Clean Cause, better caffeine. What's in the can? Our organic, sparkling Herba Mate is a premium pick-me-up that won't let you down. Every can of Clean Cause contains 160 milligrams of better caffeine, and each sip supports recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. 50% of the profits go to assist people into sober living. Check out cleancause.com.
Hope. At Rosecrans, it's more than a wish. Hope has power. As the proven behavioral health leader in the Midwest, no other program offers our depth of experience and hope here at Rosecrans. And when someone you love struggles with substance abuse and mental illness, hope plays an important part in recovery. Life's got bigger plans for you. We should know. We're the most trusted name in treatment and the best choice for those who dare to hope. Visit us at rosecrans.org. Life's waiting.
Seaside Palm Beach is an executive luxury addiction treatment center located in Palm Beach, Florida. Our private clients come from all over the world, including business executives, professional athletes, celebrities, and more. Seaside Palm Beach offers first-class amenities and high-end accommodations, including a gourmet culinary experience, ocean views, pet-friendly facilities, and access to cell phones and laptops during your stay. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, please call us at 877-959-5053. Again, that number is 877-959-5053.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance. Cognitive function. Powerful liver support. Energy, helps blood sugar regulation, superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
one of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.